Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight I want to talk about this post that was over on the Ballinger Snark subreddit. I found it really interesting because I've talked for a while about the hypocrisy of these parents exploiting their teenagers, building entire brands by using those teens, and then not giving the teens phones or saying, oh yeah, they're not allowed on social media, but you've exploited them for some of them all of their lives. So either way, we're going to read this post and go over some of the comments. It was just posted over the last day. So yeah, either way, we're going to talk about the hypocrisy when it comes to Chris and Jessica Ballinger. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so this post says, and of course I will link the Reddit down below. It says, am I correct in saying at one point Jessica said that she didn't believe in her kids having phones? I can't recall when I heard this, but I believe that B and J Ballinger don't have phones. Can anyone corroborate this? And I remember that as well. Again, don't remember where I heard it, but I have heard it, so I can confirm at least that much. I was thinking about this, and if it were true, how unjust it must feel for these kids. I can kind of understand how some parents are very much against their kids having phones, right? But imagine your parents filming you, paying their bills, and putting you up on social media from their phones and not being allowed their own. I don't know if I'm exaggerating, but that would absolutely drive me insane. I don't know if this is an okay comparison. My parents were strict on us about having McDonald's, for example, but me and my brother understood that my parents were also not having McDonald's for the same reasons they limited us. So, household rule, totally get it. If my parents didn't let me and my brother have a phone, granted, I'm talking about at an appropriate age, like 13 to 15, because of their values, I'd expect them to act the same. Of course, parents would still need phones, but I mean utilizing social media, etc. I don't know if I'm just a bratty person, but wouldn't you feel like this, especially as you got older and you realize you're paying your parents' bills? Someone said, what's the plan when they turn 18? I predict at least one of them is going to go off the rails. They can't hold them hostage forever. Honestly, I'd imagine they'd end up staying at home for a while since they're so dependent on their parents, which, I mean, a lot of young adults do that, but I'm worried about how long it'll be until they're finally able to gain independence. And this is the entire conversation around Coogan laws and family vloggers putting away money for their kids. Buying the mansions, buying the luxury vehicles, going on all of these expensive, extravagant vacations, and vlogging it, all while making all that money, but none of that money is going away for the kids. And I've heard this argument from family vloggers where they're like, oh, well, we are putting away money, but we would not share that with social media because it's none of your business. I have heard that, but I will go back to what I've always said. When it comes to family vloggers and those who don't have morals and use their kids for content, I don't believe what you're saying. I think that you are going to say whatever you have to say to remain relevant, to make sure that people are still parasocially connected to you, to make sure that people are not asking questions. I just don't trust you. And maybe that's a personal problem, but this is my channel where I share those opinions. Someone else said, it's definitely not setting up the kids for the real world. You need a phone, LOL. If they had phones, they would be able to record mom and dad's candid moments of stellar parenting, and we can't have that. Now, while I don't necessarily agree with like the comparison of the McDonald's thing, like I understand what they were saying with that. I don't agree with it, but when it comes to this family, my assumption would be that they are not going to move out. Like these kids are not going to move out when they're 18 because they have not been set up for any level of financial security. So I can stay here and continue to be a part of content and not have to pay bills, or I can go out in the real world and get a job and kind of start from the bottom. I want to know, how do y'all feel about, these kids of family vloggers being used for content and not having a cell phone, not having a savings account, not having any kind of anything put in place by the parents so that they can move out when they are ready, whether that's 18, 19, 20, it doesn't matter. The parents haven't put anything aside for the most part. And of course, that is just my assumption based on consuming a lot of these family vloggers nonsense for over 4 years now. The last thing I want to say to close this video out is, it is my prediction, and of course, this is just a guess. I am waiting for the next child of a family vlogger to come out and tell all of the truths on what it was like living with their parents, what it was like being on social media, what weird rules they had that maybe people didn't know about, how they feel, were they given money, was anything put aside, how are they reflecting on it as adults to be able to see their entire childhood displayed on social media, even the really embarrassing and private moments. I will be here to listen when they are adults and if and when they choose to speak. But either way, I figured this was a good little one-off. Might be an interesting comment section. But for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.